gentlemen, I am Lieutenant Kepler, and I would like to welcome you to the graduation of Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 56th Air Defense Artillery, United States Army Training Center. We encourage you to take photographs during this morning's ceremony. We do ask you, however, to refrain from taking pictures during the honors to our flag and to our nation. Would you please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem and the invocation. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce the members of the official party. To my left, Command Sergeant Major Henry L. Green, our guest speaker this morning. Lieutenant Colonel James S. Kay, the 1st Battalion Commander. Captain Norman Torres, Delta Company Commander. Captain Chaplain Jerry Powell, United States Army Training Center Chaplain. And First Sergeant Isaac Downing, First Sergeant of Delta Company. Also present with us at today's ceremony is Colonel Roy W. Tate, United States Army Training Center Commander. Our graduation ceremony this morning is the culmination of 8 long and hard weeks of extensive training. The core of this training consisted of basic rifle marksmanship, basic skills testing, and physical training in which the soldiers were required to meet high Army standards. I would like to introduce our guest speaker this morning, Command Sergeant Major Green. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Command Sergeant Major Green. Colonel Tate, Lieutenant Colonel Kay, Captain Torres, Command Sergeant Major Doctor, I think you're sitting out there somewhere. I hope you get over your influenza. First Sergeant Downing, guests, family, and more importantly, Company D, 1st of the 56th ADA Training Battalion. It is indeed my pleasure, as well as an honor, to be asked to speak to you today. My comments will be brief. I know that you're away 8 weeks for this day, and I don't want to spoil it for you by making some long speech. But I want to make one thing understood this morning. In my estimation, today is your day. You have put in some long and hard hours to make this day happen. So what does this entitle you to? Well, I feel that it entitles you to, number one, be excited about today. It entitles you to smile. It entitles you to be cocky to a certain degree. And it certainly entitles you to display a strong sense of accomplishment. Your graduation today, it just doesn't mean that you completed basic training. Your graduation also signifies your commitment to the service of your country. A few weeks ago, about 8 weeks, maybe a little longer because you guys did go on Exodus, you were at the Logan Heights training complex, not knowing what to expect. I wish I could have captured the bewildered look on your faces when you first encountered, with your first encounter with the drill sergeant. For some of you, this was a difficult experience, and for some, it took longer to recover than others. But once the initial culture shock was over with, you got down to the business at hand of becoming a soldier. Have you ever considered why we have basic training? Have you ever considered why basic training is always located in some harsh environment? Tough weather, tough terrain, and just plain tough conditions. Well, in my estimation, it's simple. I equate it to being just like mouthwash. In order for it to do a good job, it must taste strong, it must be strong, and it must taste bad. Or our leaders are a bunch of masochists and enjoy inflicting pain. I would rather take the latter of the two and simply say there ain't no gain without pain. Basic training should be tough. It should be demanding. If it were not, today would not be important to you. If it were not, why have basic training in the first place? Why not just go straight directly to AIT or Advanced Individual Training? That would be a bummer, wouldn't it? Can you imagine what the Army would be like without basic combat training? The organizational structure of the Army would be in total chaos. There would be absolutely no control, probably like the Air Force or the Navy. Not really. I started to say Marine Corps because Colonel Kay's son is in the Marine Corps. He probably wouldn't forgive me for that. The point I'm trying to make to you or convey to you is the single most important thing that you should have learned from basic training, in my estimation, is discipline. If you want to be successful, you have to have discipline. You have to discipline yourself to stick to your goals. Basic training has been all about discipline. The same discipline that you learn in basic training will follow you wherever you go. With you also will go part of you from the drill sergeant, because you will never forget him who taught you the meaning of discipline. Monday, when I inspected your company during the inspection period 7, I asked one of your fellow soldiers what did he feel was the single most important thing that he had learned in basic training. I don't think that was Private Elder. Private Elder, you out there? Stand up, Private Elder. Where are you? Don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask you anything today. You can sit down. That soldier responded. That soldier responded that discipline. He felt that he had learned discipline. Was the single most important thing that he learned in basic. I can't say enough about discipline. Discipline would keep you going, and when nothing else will. Sometimes discipline is confused with courage. Discipline is defined as training to act in accordance with rules, instructions, and exercise designed to train to proper conduct or action. Courage is the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, and pain. Both can get you into trouble if they are confused. But discipline can be taught. Courage cannot. Courage is standing up for what you feel is right. Discipline is doing what needs to be done in the absence of orders. The toughest part of your Army life is completed, and now you're ready to go on to advanced individual training. Remember what you've learned in basic training. Use these skills to help you in your future training. Strive to make yourself a better soldier. Competition is king, and everyone in the Army wants to be all they can be. With that in mind, enter each new assignment with past knowledge and use that assignment to help you grow, not only as a soldier, but as a person. Set some goals for yourself. If you have the Army College Fund or the GI Bill, use it. If you don't have an educational fund, get one. There's still time. I was really impressed with all of you when I inspected your company. You are a magnificent group of young men. Now a tremendous challenge awaits you all that will test your learning ability to operate and maintain extremely complex weapon systems unheard of in my early years with the Army. The Army is truly an organization that supports the family. We have educational systems tailored for each soldier, officer, and enlisted, cooks, mechanics, infantrymen, artillerymen, and medics. My Army has really changed in my 27 years, and yours will too. Your Army will keep pace with our society and technology. I envy you, new soldiers, because the pleasures and the sense of accomplishments I have enjoyed now awaits you. So you see, you do have a lot to be proud of today. You have a reason to smile and feel excited. You have every reason to feel good about yourself. To the families, we would like to share this moment of celebration with your new soldier, for you represent the ones who could not be here today. In fact, I personally invite you to eat in a dining facility with your soldiers today. I'm sure you will have a pleasant surprise. I like to boast when it comes to talking about the Army, and I never pass up the opportunity to do so. To the family members out there, did you know that the Army is one of the few organizations that discourage smoking? Did you know that the military does mandatory drug testing? Did you know that the military provides educational programs for drugs? And we have mandatory age testing? Why am I telling you all this? I want each family member to understand our total commitment to provide each soldier with a fair chance to excel. We don't want you to worry about your sons. I can assure you they have been well taken care of. To the cadre and soldiers, I would like to take this opportunity also to thank all the people who made this day possible. For I've come to the conclusion that everyone comes to this graduation because they have played a part in making this day happen. Again, I'd like to thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you. I have truly enjoyed it. I also would like to extend my sincere congratulations to a job well done. Good luck to all of you. God bless you. Fit to fight.
Outstanding members of Delta Company this cycle. Soldier of the Cycle Award is presented to the soldier who displays the greatest amount of discipline, initiative, esprit de corps, enthusiasm, endurance, physical conditioning, drill and ceremonies, efficiency in marksmanship, tactical training, and other fundamental soldiering techniques. High Basic Rifle Marksmanship Award is presented to the soldier who attains the highest score on a qualification test using his M16A1. Silhouettes are mechanically exposed at ranges of 50 to 300 meters. Testing a soldier's ability to effectively engage simulated combat-type targets. The winner of these two awards is Private First Class Keeler Stephen A., who hails from Keeler, Wisconsin. Fitness Award is presented to the soldier who attains the highest individual composite score in the following three events constituting the physical fitness test: sit-ups, push-ups, and endurance as he works against time. For scoring 280 points, the High Physical Fitness Award is presented to Private Skipworth Marcus W., who hails from Greensboro, North Carolina. I would now like to introduce to you the graduates and drill sergeants of Company D, Class 8-89. First platoon is led by the following cadre. The position of platoon sergeant is performed by Drill Sergeant, Sergeant First Class Larry K. Purcell. His assistants are Drill Sergeants, Sergeant First Class Leon Newman and Sergeant Claude A. Knowles III. First platoon graduates of Basic Combat Training Class 8-89 are Privates O'Coin Troy A. Bedell Terrence. Bishop Anthony D. Brinson Demetrius. Byers Robert J. Candelario Hector. Canty Edward F. Jr. Cassiano Jose A. Clayton Jeffrey S. Coleman Kermit. Cook Forrest C. Crawford Stephen. Cruz Luis A. Elder Samuel II. Everett William. Fortmeyer Shannon. Gonzalez John R. Gundrum Robert S. Hare William C. Hill Jack T. Hunter Rodney B. Jackson James. Johnson Dodd R. Johnson Milton A. Martin Jimmy F. Mateo Rubin. McCain Aaron S. McGraw Michael A. Morgan Michael A. Nassenstein Mike. Nieves Andonario. Pitts, Vernon. Rogers, John W. Rothman, Robert. Santoro, Joseph. Scott, Richard. Simons, Kevin. Tabbs, Mark A. Thomas, Earl Jr. Torres, Edgar A. Whipple, Mark W. Whitehurst, Donald. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the first platoon graduates. Second platoon is led by the following cadre. The position of platoon sergeant is performed by drill sergeant, Sergeant First Class Bruce G. Coleman. His assistants are drill sergeants, Staff Sergeant Troy V. Thomas and Sergeant Michael J. Anderson. The second platoon graduates of Basic Combat Training Class 8-89 are Privates Arnold Henry L. Jr., Allinger Thomas, Audette Paul T., Bailey Bingo F.E., Baptiste Yancey J., Bradley Stacy L., Brown Mark A., Carrier Leach Hector E., Kerrigan Dennis F., Chatelaine Robert J., Covington Randy, Gakuma Godofredo D., Gale Richard A., Galliard Roland H., Getzlaff Jeff A., Goff Derek L., James E., Haney Richard L. II., Harper Matthew R. Hart Eddie J. Jr. Heinold John C. Hernandez Jose G. House Ray W. Jackson Eric L. Johnson Derek. Jurgens Scott A. McCullough Joseph Jr. McDonald Terrence L. McPhail John M. Meyer David L. Miller Seth E. Moore Eddie L. Muse Timothy R. Nolan Kenneth A. Oldham Casey J. Orr John. Parker Samuel H. Rowling Eric L. Rushing Timothy. Saywell Richard M. Simeon Robert N. Shota Gerard D. Smith Robert B. Smith Sean D. Sturkey Gary J. Taylor William B. Vu Ben. White Kevin E. Willett Shannon D. Williams John E. Wilson Cameron S. Wilson Timothy D. Woodrick Brian S. Wallaka James D. Zappis, Achilles M. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduates of second platoon, class 8-89. Third platoon is led by the following cadre. The position of platoon sergeant is performed by drill sergeant, sergeant first class Frank W. Watson. His assistants are drill sergeants, staff sergeant James C. Jeffers, and Staff Sergeant Eric S. Johnson. The 3rd Platoon graduates of Basic Combat Training Class 8-89 are Privates Baldonado Troy, Barber Ricky T. Jerome. Carter Michael A. Casillas Johnny A. Chavez Joe L. III. Palazzo Mark D. Courts Victorio. Davis James L. Dorothy Chad M. Evans Derek. Fisher Matthew S. Gales Linnell. Galindo Bobby R. Gerke Donald. Gilbert Christopher. Green Anthony. Harmon Kenneth A. Hughes Roy D. Jarash Eugene G. Johnson Don. Joseph Benjamin F. Kimball Kevin D. King David K. Larkins William A. Lindsey Jimmy. Thomas. Miller Quentin A. Mitchell David L. Montano Roger. Nestler Gregory. Osalind Christopher. Preston Chris W. Rimble Brian K. Riley Eric. Santos Thomas. Sims Derek D. Sims Carrie E. Smith Corey. Thompson Anthony. Walker Julius A. Watling Brian. Wilkie Kevin J. Worley Chris D. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduates of 3rd Platoon, Class 8-89. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the soldiers and cadre of Class 8-89. I now introduce the commander of Company D, Captain Torres.
Before I give my formal remarks, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to step out of character for a moment and express my gratitude to the 62nd Army Band. In the 18 months that I've been in command, we've graduated 7 cycles, and this is the first time we've had the honor to have the band with us. And I'd like to thank those talented musicians, because you do, in fact, add a lot of dignity to these ceremonies. Thanks again. Colonel Tate, Lieutenant Colonel K, Command Sergeant Major Green, Command Sergeant Major Doctor, parents, friends of Class 8-89. This particular class has been a class that all of us will remember in one way or another. Believe me. Every class makes an impact, and I will remember this one as my last opportunity to make a positive impact on the minds and lives of these young men. These men have earned the right to be called soldiers. They have worked very hard and have done a lifetime of maturing in 8 weeks. You parents and relatives can be very proud that these young men have made the ultimate commitment of defending and giving their lives, if necessary, for the freedoms that we all enjoy in this our great nation. They have impacted in my life and in the life of the rest of the unit. I'm also sure that the drill sergeants impacted on them and their lives. Just as some soldiers excel in basic training, one non-commissioned officer, a drill sergeant, excels in the performance of his duties. He is chosen by his peers, chosen as the individual leader that exerted himself and took the painstaking efforts to ensure that his soldiers were well trained and well cared for. Ladies and gentlemen, that drill sergeant is the drill sergeant of the cycle. I present to you the drill sergeant of the cycle for class 8-89, Drill Sergeant, Staff Sergeant Troy B. Thomas. Sergeant Thomas receives a certificate of achievement signed by the battalion commander and a trophy given by his peers.
In their effort to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the army, in the country. I will assist each individual meets and maintain the Army standards of military advantage and courtesy, consistent with the highest tradition of the United States Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task I will not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant.
It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you the battalion commander of 1st Battalion, 56th Air Defense Artillery, Lieutenant Colonel James S. Kate.
Colonel Tate, Command Sergeant Major Green, Command Sergeant Major Doctor, friends, distinguished guests, and families of Class 8-89. I thank all of you for attending today's graduation ceremony. Today marks a great day in the lives of the soldiers of Delta Company, and your attendance here today means a lot to the Army Training Center, to the 1st Battalion, and to most of all, these great-looking soldiers. I hope that those of you visiting here enjoyed the ceremony and hope you can join us for lunch at the 1st Battalion Dining Facility. For the past 8 to 9 weeks, these soldiers have trained hard, met, and in some cases exceeded the standards. They have fully qualified themselves for their next phase of development, advanced individual training. Parents, I commend you. You have done a fine job of raising these young men, and from my personal observation of their efforts during training, I assure you that your efforts in the early years of their life built that solid foundation that they needed to meet the tough challenges, and it has had a significant contribution to their success thus far. They are a very patriotic group of soldiers, and I've enjoyed being their battalion commander for the past 8 weeks. To the cadre of Delta Company, I commend you. Your long hours and hard work are reflected by these fine-looking soldiers. Creating soldiers from volunteer citizens in 8 weeks is not an easy task. But today I am fully confident that you have accomplished your mission and accomplished it well. To the soldiers of Delta Company, you have just completed the most rigorous training resulting in the greatest change of your life. We have strictly structured your life, causing you to quickly adapt to changing situations. You've trained in garrison, you've trained in the desert, you qualified with the M16 rifle, you qualified on the Army Physical Fitness Test, and you passed the Basic Skills Test. To accomplish this, you quickly transitioned from being a civilian to a soldier, and you made that change in an outstanding manner. You have conducted your training with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. You can be proud of what you have individually and collectively accomplished. The fact that you were team players has made Delta Company a winner. I challenge you to continue your performance, because in doing so, you challenge us to be better soldiers. It may not dawn on you at this moment in your life, but you're the future leaders of our nation and our Army. I'd also like to take this opportunity to add on to Captain Torres's thanks to the 62nd Army Band. Your presence always adds a special touch to our graduation ceremonies, and I commend you on a job well done. Again, I thank the families, the friends, and the guests for joining us here today. To Class-889, congratulations on a job well done, and I wish you continued success in the future. Soldier on, graduates of Delta Company, and be all you can be. Thank you.
Centennial of the Constitution of the United States, I now ask all soldiers to stand and repeat with me the oath of enlistment. I invite all others that are in the military to stand and join us. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
This concludes our ceremony. Please join the graduates and cadre of Company D for a reception at the Recreation Center, which is located 2 buildings to your left. There will also be a super lunch at the 1st Battalion Dining Facility at 1200 hours. Again, thank you for your support and participation.
I used to drive a Chevrolet. Now I'm marching every day. And it won't be long till I get on back home. Oh, mama, don't you cry. Your little boy ain't gonna die. And it won't be long till I get on back home. Your left, your right, your left, your right. Your left, your right, your right side. And it won't be long till I get on back home.
I used to pay apartment rent.
I used to pay apartment rent.
Now I'm living in a tent.
Now I'm living in a tent.
And it won't be long.
And it won't be long
Till I get on back home.
till I get on back home.
Come on!
Let's go!
Come for the red coat, red!
Stand back!
my chicks. Woo!
Right.